you are Droxy?
I am Droxy, also Carrie Harris.
Oh, I don't need your...
I am the mod of Granger Snape 100 Live Journal. A couple of the people from Granger Snape said, hey, we should all organize and go to Phoenix Rising in New Orleans. And as we started to do that, I said, well, hey, this is a convention. We all kind of need costumes. And it all started out as I wanted to do something easy. So I said, well, I'm just going to go as a Death Eater. And they said, no. And I said, well, I'd really planned on doing Lord Voldemort. And I had already scoped out the internet to see what was available for costumes and robes. There's this great looking Snape mask. All I had to do is pop some red contact lenses, put on a mask, throw on a robe, and out the door I go. What else would you consider doing? Well, I go, I have the height and the coloring to do Professor Snape, but I'm a bit heavy, and Professor Snape is very complicated compared to Lord Voldemort. And they said, well, you got to do Snape. And I just kind of pushed them off, and they said no, and I said, look, I'm not going to do Snape and look like a girl in a Potion Master outfit. So that's how I wound up doing Professor Snape.
What do you have to affect so that you don't look like a girl?
So facially, I have the nose. I put on a chin. My face is very fine. From a female perspective, I have a small nose. I have a square face, but my cheeks aren't very prominent or angled. So what I did is I put in a chin, and then to hide the prosthetics, I put on the facial hair. But I went to the barber, had my hair cut, and I just took the clippings and minced them up. And then I used spirit gum to put it on. I use a makeup technique called Extreme Lean. It's the same kind of makeup you would use for Don Quixote, except for I don't want to make Professor Snape look emaciated, so there's some things I do and don't do. And what they said, and even some of the theater arts books said, is if you're going to do a male, you need to have the 5 o'clock shadow. I have blue eyes. I have black contact lenses in.
Is that your natural color?
My natural hair color is quite silver. And I would say that my original natural hair color is like a deep, dark coffee brown. So going this brownish black that you see is not dramatically different from my normal hair color. First of all, I'm 5 feet 10 inches tall, and I weigh 170 pounds, which is a decent size for a guy of that height who would fit Professor Snape's build. My shoulders are very narrow, even for a female, so I have to pad them up. Now, there's other aspects about suppressing how you look female. I guess I'd say I'm a nice-looking 45-year-old lady. But I got boobs and I got hips, and what am I going to do about it? Well, to hide your hips, you just use a pretty strong girdle that's pretty straight up. But to hide your boobs and to suppress them, I went and got the highest spandex athletic bra you can buy on the market. Flattens you out. But that doesn't do the whole job. Because I'm slender in the shoulders, I've padded it up. And if the camera's running, I'll show you the secret. In here is a t-shirt that I sewed very tight to my body. These are recycled shoulder pads. What I do is I put the shoulder pads on the upper part of my chest to flatten the profile. Because unless you're very, very flat-chested as a female, you're not going to pull it off. And then, of course, if I open this up more, and I don't know if it will, I have 2 layers of shoulder pads up here. Now this particular costume that I'm wearing, which is a cassock and a blend of a Union officer's soldier's uniform because of the military style, it was made a bit big. So I padded out more. The frock coat doesn't need as much.
And what do you do to affect the voice?
The voice is one of the few things that I've never been able to quite control because it is limited by what you are biologically. Now, I ran into a couple of cosplayers that I'll just call them elf voice. And I said, the one thing is that shatters the illusion is the voice. And they said, even as a girl, my voice is high on a man's but low on a girl's but could pass. I've not mastered the voice, but their suggestion was to do what was called elongating your vocal cords. And then they also told me that there is a cadence to a man's voice that I haven't mastered, and that's what gives me away when I speak, unless I just grunt one-word responses. Yes, no, 10 points from Hufflepuff.
So here's our question. How do you feel about the sign that we found?
What sign?
Wanna huffle my puffle? Okay.
50 points from Hufflepuff. Next question. You have till floor 7.
That kind of stuff I can get away with. So Fanart Snape's a little more arrogant, a little more I'm here, deal with me, in your face kind of guy, plus he's teacher mode, so I often call Fanart Snape Academic Snape because he's got the teacher robes and the frock coat and all that. But when you deal with Canon Snape, instead of having 4 things like Fanart Snape, you're dealing with a factor of